Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. So I got a little something I want to share with y'all that came to me on a walk I did a little earlier today, and it has to do with telepathy and an exercise that two people can do and to practice their telepathic abilities. And so each of y'all could just get a pen and paper and then close your eyes and have have each of you focus on sending. Well, I mean, if you guys are both going to send thoughts to each other, you can do that. Or if one person wants to send and one person wants to receive, however you want to play around with it. But focus on love. Like who's ever sending it, well, both of y'all should focus on love, really. But focusing on the love will help to connect to God energy, which is all about perpetuating love. And so by doing that, by paying attention to the loving energy that you have, that you are both trying to connect to, it's going to better help you guys send and receive messages to each other. So, and this is why whenever I've been in relationships with people and we have a very similar, it's usually a very loving bond, whether it's a friend or in some other type of relationship, the closer I am with them and, the better I feel about the way things are with them, the more telepathic I've noticed myself being. So anyway, and I think, again, the reason is because we're both picking up on, more of a God frequency, whatever you want to call it, a most high frequency, most high vibrational energetic frequency. So anyway, you guys can pick up pen and paper, and then when one feels like they are picking up on 411 from somewhere else besides oneself, then one is most likely picking up on a telepathic message. That's how it feels for me. And so then one can write down the message, and both people can then share the message they wrote down and compare them to the actual telepathic message they both sent out. And the more precise and able one is in receiving the specific / clear, concise message, the more of a telepathic link one has, and thus telepathic ability. I think this too can tie into one's telekinesis abilities, which is the ability to move objects without actually having to physically pick them up, just using your mind essentially, or it's more than your mind, it's your whole body and your energy, but without actually having to walk over and physically pick them up. So anyway, I want to get back to the emphasis. I already really talked about it, but just to go over it again, love is God. So this is why it's important to focus on loving thoughts when doing the telepathy practices, because love is God, so aka source or life / creation. So love is all about the perpetuation of life and love. So when you're attempting to do anything, whether it's a telepathic message or a digital message, the more love you imbue into it or put into it, the more of a connection to God or love one will have. And so by focusing on a loving thought, excuse me buddy, there was an ant there. By focusing on a loving thought, all right, let's go turn the page. One is focusing / absorbing, and again, thank you, Dr. Bruce Lipton, for your work on epigenetics and sharing with the world how our cells do absorb the environment that they're around, and they're changing all the time. Our genes are changing all the time based on the environment that you're around. So this is also true with everything, and so with telepathy too. So the more of a loving atmosphere you're around, the more of a loving thoughts that you have, and all this and that, the better able you're going to be able to connect with love. And if the person you're sending it to is also in a loving atmosphere and the loving thoughts and all this and that, the better able they're going to be able to receive it, and the better able you guys are going to be able to communicate. So the more, so absorbing, so more and more energy or connection, which is what I just said, whatever task one has, perpetuated by God, okay, and again, this good connection comes directly from the love one chooses to focus on and pay attention to. Yeah, I pretty much said that. All right, so now this same principle can be applied to our surroundings and areas that we choose to inhabit / spend time in / at. For example, by being out in nature or the wilds, one is surrounded / absorbing more love, aka God energy, than they would be if they were / are in the cities. And this is simply because out in the wilds, animals, plants, and all life maintain a harmonious ecosystem where each animal and plant knows / is being as God intended, designed it they to be. And so, because they are walking in full alignment with their God-given gifts / abilities, they are full of love and good energy. And this is why when we are out in the wilds, we often, if not all the time, feel more love and good energy and a good connection to God or source. The wilds have a high level of symbiotic relationship with all they are around, and because all the animals know who they are and what they were designed to do, there is no room for manipulation or exploitation, as these are desires that stem from a place of a lack of love, aka connection, or lack of a connection to God. And this is largely why we have so much malevolent manipulation and exploitation. The powers that hold sway over the people today are not in alignment with God's will, and thus have a very poor connection with love, source / good energy. They know this, and they also know that free will exists, and human beings can be and are being easily swayed. Because we have free will, and because we have had many messengers of love, or God, not to mention his only begotten Son, Yahushua, the blame for our iniquities/transgressions and our lack of love and faith goes back to us. As we have been given the word, and we have had many warnings, and most people know how wicked/messed up things are, and yet most people choose to do very little or nothing, or even perpetuate how bad it is, even worse, that which they know, to be in direct opposition to the love of God. And most people, like I said, either they choose to do nothing or very little, or they are doing the opposite, which is perpetuating, the negative side. So with that being said, the fault is our own. We have made this mess, and now we can choose to keep messing things up, or we can start to really clean things up. So, all right, yeah. Sorry if I got a little tongue-tied there at the end, but I love you guys. Hope you all have a good day. All right, bye.